What's good, y'all? My name is One Zen Darius, or Zen or Darius, whichever one you prefer, and I'm here to bring you a brand new series which I like to call Budget Build Guide for Warframe. The purpose of these series of videos is to help new players who don't have the more powerful mods this game has to offer. To keep things simple, I'll only mention mods that range from bronze, silver, and gold that can be farmed through natural gameplay. These can be found from enemy kills or as mission rewards. And as usual, if you guys do like the video, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for any new updates to Warframe. Also, I'm on Guilded as I have a ton of resources ranging from Kuvalich guides to mission guides as well. With all that said, let's get right into it. For starters, when playing this game, it can be really confusing trying to understand what is going on and what all these stats mean. This video will explain the type of stats this game, first starting out, has to offer, and I'm going to start with the battle proxies themselves, Warframes. Warframe stats are pretty simple to understand. They are armor, affects how much health damage you take. The higher the stat is, the less health damage you take, obviously. Energy, affects how frequently and how often you can cast abilities. The more energy you have, the more abilities you can cast. Your health, basically your red bar, your hit points. This goes hand in hand with armor itself. When playing solo, you immediately die when your HP reaches 0. A couple of frames, however, can survive via bleed out, which are Inaros and Sevagoth, who fall into this category. In a squad, you must wait to be revived, or you can force revive yourself by spending a respawn point. You get 5 in every mission that you do. Shields. Like in most games, shields are effective first, then you take direct damage to your health. Naturally, the higher this stat is, the more damage your enemies must do to take them down. Sprint speed. This affects how fast your Warframe moves around the map. The higher this number is, the faster you move in the game itself. Ability power. Affects how strong your abilities are. The higher the percentage, the more damage your abilities deal. Ability range. This affects how far your abilities reach and the more enemies it affects. The higher this number is, the further ability go and, again, the more enemies it affects. Ability efficiency. This determines the cost of your abilities in general. The higher this number is, the less energy you use to cast abilities. And it's also, the lower this stat is, the more energy you use. Now, because of these, here are some of the more powerful or useful mods you can get in the early game. Mind you, a couple of these you may stumble across, and the rest you'll find just by killing the enemies. I highly recommend a friend who has a farming frame to bring them along. Necros would be the best option. Vitality. This mod is good for health. Because when you rank this mod up, you will get a huge boost to your HP pool. Really useful when starting out. Redirection. The same as Vitality, only it affects the shields. Again, really good for the early stages of the game, especially unranked. Steel Fiber. One of the best defensive mods out there. This will limit the damage you take when your shields run out. Extremely helpful. Flow. Helps when you get to rank 10 with any frame since all your abilities will be active. Great for larger energy pools and pretty cheap when not leveled up, which is standard for having 4 skill points to equip. Stretch. Another good mod to have if you have Warframe whose abilities affect a general area, in other words AoE. However, don't rely on this too much early unless a frame has an ability that benefits from this. Thief's Wit. When playing, you need to know where some resources are. This takes the guesswork out of what is around you. Pair this with Necros to make farming much easier. You want this to prevent aimlessly wandering the map and running into dead ends. Works well with farming frames, again, like Necros. Steel Charge, an aura mod. Great if you use melee weapons often, as not only do aura mods increase your Warframe skill points, they also affect everyone in your squad all at once. Physique. Same as Steel Charge, only this increases your squad health. Pair this with Vitality for a huge boost in HP. Rejuvenation. Similar to Physique, except this gives you health regeneration. Again, pair this with Vitality so you don't have to constantly look for health orbs around the map. This is just a few of the mods you can use at the moment to help you in the early game. Remember to not level these up when you get them, as you can't equip them if your Warframe does not have enough skill points. When you rank to level 30 or rank 30, then you can start leveling them up. However, there is another thing to note as well. These puzzle piece-like items, which are called forma, can be used to cut your mod costs in half. There is a trade-off, though, that you need to reset your Warframe back to unranked and level them up all over again. However, this time when you equip more powerful mods in your frame, you can cut the cost in half as you can equip more mods over time. When first starting out, I highly recommend using the polarity Vizarin. You can check this in your upgrade inventory, as both Vitality and Redirection use this polarity to cut their costs in half, because their basic cost when leveled up fully is 14. If you use a former mod and you use the Vizarin polarity, you'll cut the cost in half to 7, which you can use to equip way more mods. Right now, that's all for the time being, but I will speak more on weapons at a later time. For now, I highly recommend using the above mods until you have a better understanding of the game and how mods work. These are just the base mods to help you get started and to give you a much better option when you want to build high-level builds. As you become more experienced, you will begin to use and get various other mods to create something of your own, unique to you, in other words. That's all from me for the time being. Remember that when first starting, don't go for high-level builds and work your way up. Of course, if you haven't done so, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell, as I will re-explain some of the more deeper mechanics over time. And again, I do have a guilded server where a ton of resources is available. Everything again from Warframes to builds, different weapon recipes, including a Kuvalich hunting guide as well. Until then, I'll catch you guys later.